So I'm standing here in the Townsland of Moneybow in Oulart, and in front of me I've got Jim Dunne. Is that right?
That's right.
So we're getting places. Before I came in, I noticed you were planting some trees.
Yes, yeah.
You were This was your lark for the last couple of years, was it? Planting trees and growing things, and
For the last 50 years or more,
you had a nursery.
at a nursery. Strawberry, you name it, fruit of every description, still in it.
And you had a birthday recently.
Birthday, 20th, recently, a few days back.
And how old were you? Are you going to tell me?
I've gone 89 now. 90 the next birthday.
And you've no bother getting out in the morning and planting trees?
No trouble. Roll out, waiting for the clock, time to come, the daylight to come.
You must be delighted now with these fine evenings, are you?
Oh, yes, I have. From now on, it's the busiest time of the year, really, spring.
In your job?
In my job, and especially because I'm into everything. Bees, all types of flowers of every description, indoor and outdoor. Most of the nurseries, they have certain lines, you know, shrubbery or hedging or so, but I do everything.
And you're operating still as a business here now?
Oh yeah, operate still. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I say, the day I'll stop is the day they'll put me down above an hour. That is a fact. Because I've seen dads that did stop and retired years younger than I am. Got into the corner and pined away. That's it. Nothing to do, nothing to get up to do. No. Got depressed in the corner and pined out.
That's not going to happen to you.
Oh, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'll still squeeze the women till my dying day. And they do me delight to get a squeeze from me. Because it'll be a good one.
And are you still out socialising after the women, are you?
Oh, no problem. I do my best.
I suppose that's giving you a reason to get up in the morning as well, is it?
Oh well, be an extra. What would I call it? Oh, I have some nice ones now calling on me, you know.
Don't mention any names in case we get in trouble, right?
Sure, that's the name of the game, yeah, sure.
The name of the game, not to mention names.
That's the name of the game. Sure, I travel the world and come back.
You were in Moneybow. Were you born in Moneybow?
I was born in Ballygown, about a mile over the road, which is in Blackwater. Just across, as the crow fly, it wouldn't be half a mile or where I was born. Shortly after I was born, I was brought here to an old type cottage. Stood there. It's levelled, it's buried, it's built that timber house.
And when did you build the timber house?
It's, what is it, 10 or 12, is it 10 years, 12 years built now.
And you were living in a thatched cottage before that?
No, what's an old slate cottage?
Slate cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're 89. So when you were born, I'm trying to work the maths. 19 and
30.
30. Yeah.
30.
Yeah. Was there many in the family, Jim?
5.
Where were brothers or sisters?
Three brothers, 2 sisters.
Are any of them alive at all?
2 sisters.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
And are they in Oulart still?
One of me now, my sister's only up the road a mile, Sheila. My other sister's in Tipperary.
Oh.
So.
And your mother and father, where were they from?
My father was from Gorey side, between Gorey and Ballycanoe, Ballycale, that area. Right. The Dunnes down there. My mother, her father came from the other side of the Ballinamurroch. And my grandmother, she was born down the road here, close by. Doyle family, a big crowd of men.
Doyles.
Yeah, Doyles.
What took your father up here?
I don't know what brought him up here. He worked. He was a mechanic or a driver on a steamroller for the county council them days. And I suppose it brought him up in this area, and sure he must have happened on my mother. So, no, I could talk to the cows come home about my life.
And they were the Dunnes then, they came up from Ballycanoe?
Ballycale, the other side of Ballycanoe, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yourself then, where did you go to school, eh?
Oulart.
Up to Oulart?
Yeah.
And what age did you leave school at?
I left school around 14 or thereabouts.
And what did you do? Was your father farming, or did you farm labouring or working?
No, my father was with the county council.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started 14, odd jobs with the farmers around.
Yeah.
Digging bushes out of the ground and cleaning grapes. Driving cattle to the Martin in a Scart, or to the fair in a Scarty at 4 in the morning.
And getting very little money for it as well, I'd say.
Well, money didn't come into it. If you got it, you took it. If you didn't get it, that was it. Well, if I was paid for half what I done, I'd be a millionaire. If I was paid for half what for the time I've done, for the time I've worked and the hours I've worked, I would be a millionaire.
So sometimes you don't need money for the things you like doing.
No, money's not everything. And especially today, it's not everything. There's a lot missing apart from money. It has to be had. You have to survive, but it's a different world compared to my young days. A different world. Them days you could go into any of the neighbours' houses all around me. Welcome. You get a can of milk or a pound of butter or a bag of spuds or a turnip or something to bring home. Or if they killed the pig, you get a bit of meat. I often got the fresh meat, called it pork. But today, different story.
Is that nature gone out of people? Or going out of people?
It's gone out of people. It's not going, Michael. It's gone. Sad. I would count that sad. Them days, in my young days, there'd be people come for half a mile or across fields to come to the house at night time for a chat or a game of cards or something. That's gone. Television, I suppose, didn't help. But still, people have changed. Education, I suppose, more money. At them days, if you didn't get him going out in the door, somewhere you walked, it didn't matter. You go back the next week again and happy. Now, you wouldn't, no money.
A lot of our lives are tied around money now. A lot of people's lives are centred around
It's
money.
centred around money, yes. And under pressure, even at that. The first half-crown I got in my young day was on my confirmation day, and I thought I was a millionaire. The first half-crown, that's going back now, from my grandfather. I looked at it, and I held it for let's say for years in my pocket, the half-crown.
Have you noticed people have a different value for money? For someone, a fiver could mean they get a lot more out of it than someone else.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, I sure no, money didn't come into it in those days at all. People were more united among themselves, you know. They've gone individually through, you know, as a neighbour. He's a Wicklow man, he's here maybe 10, 12 years. I haven't been in his house, never. To the side of the fence there. Same up along the road. No.
A lot of people are hopping in cars and driving to work and hopping back in their cars and driving home again.
Driving home again.
Especially in country areas anyway. You know,
that's right, yeah. And at the end of the day, what had they, some of them? It's all pressure. No, it's a different world. It's a different world today altogether. If I had a choice in the morning, I'd go back to my young days, where I had nothing, where I was happy and content. I would. No. Maybe they don't think as much about you when you move on in years. That could be a part of it too. The younger generations, they have their own life, their own ways. You know, my ways and their ways wouldn't be. Wow! No. But anyway, sure.
And you still go out up to the pub here and you be mixing.
I go to the pub 2 or 3 nights a week.
You'd be knocking around young people up there, wouldn't you?
Oh yes, quite a few. Oh yes, in the pub. Yeah.
Would they talk?
But I'd have 2 or 3 old, my own age, one man, another. The man gone out there. You seen him? He'd be another one of my drinkers. But no. Did we to themselves in the pub to a pint too, young people? Yeah. No.
And could you have been like that yourself when you were a chap? Were you like that, do you think? Or you look back now and you're
No, I wasn't. No. I treat everyone, even up to the present moment, I treat everyone alike. I make no distinction with people, whether they're rich, poor, or beggars, or whoever they are. I make no distinction, never did. Bigger man's money is as good as a rich man's money.
And you'd treat probably a 5-year-old, you'd give it the same respect as a 35-year-old as well.
Yes, everything same. No. I make no distinction whatsoever.
Do you have any grandchildren yourself?
I have 5 and 2, 7.
7.
Yeah.
Any of them called Jim?
One of them.
Good.
I hope. You know, follow my footsteps. Maybe times I say maybe it's nice to see he would maybe. Take a good lad now to follow my footsteps. Oh, I tell you, no, I travelled the world and enjoyed it. Canada and America. Out on the Alaska Highway, I drove a truck on the Alaska Highway. I spent 5 Christmases down in Florida, Miami, down in off the Gulf of Mexico.
What took you there? Women, was it?
Well, I suppose I got the notion of travel. Went out from London. No, I went out to my brother's wedding. He got married in London. And from that I didn't come back. I went to the Canadian what would you call it at that time in London?
Embassy.
Yes. And I didn't have a bob to get there. It was, I got there on a Canadian passport, or what would they call it?
Visa.
A visa, paid for and all.
Oh. What year was that?
That was 50, I'd say 57 or 8, somewhere there. Yeah. I know when I landed in Canada, in Alberta, Canada, it was full of Hungarian refugees. The Hungarian uprising had happened in Hungary, and there were an awful lot of the refugees took into Canada. So that was around that time.
And you would have been about 27 or at that.
I would be at least 27 or 8, maybe, somewhere along there. Took off an old flight from London to Canada. Now propeller plane. She's doing about 300 miles an hour. Had to stop in Scotland, in Gatwick, to get fuel. Took off from Gatwick to Iceland to get fuel. And the snow, this is February now, that year. And the snow in Iceland was as high as the trees. I know it's high like this. From that to Newfoundland to get fuel. Reached Toronto. Stayed overnight there because I was going farther out, I was go heading up to the prairies, out to Alberta. Edmonton was a city in Alberta. So landed there the next day. And landed there was no work for anyone because the Hungarian refugees
taking all your work.
Taking the work. So there was an option came up that would I go to the gold mines in Yellowknife, which was about 200 or 300 miles farther up near the Arctic Circle, Yellowknife. So I fell in with a young German fella as well, and he was looking for work. Only after landing in Canada. The two of us took off anyway. But no, I'm going a bit fast now. Yellowknife. I had to pass a doctor before they take me in. Very strict. So passed the doctor. God, I thought it was. Told me the conditions up there. You go in for 2E or something, and you wouldn't get out of it. So, that's my life, I said to myself. So I said, no, I don't want to. Another choice came up then with a lumber camp. Call it lumber out there, the timber.
Yeah.
A lumber camp. So I took the option on the lumber camp anyway. And this was going farther up, heading for nearly Whitehorse, that far up to the old sawmills, what they call, where they saw on the lumber. Took off in an old truck that had come down from with a load of lumber to the city. And the truck was going back, and myself and the German, we took off in the truck. So the driver said to us after a while on the highway, "Can any of you drive?" "I can. I have drove a truck," I said, back in Ireland for a short time. Well, he said, "I've got no sleep for many hours, and I'm going to pull in at the next stop, coffee stop, truck stop, to get coffee or refreshments." And that was, "How far is that on?" "Oh, God, it's a long way on," she says. And this was the middle of the night. So I come to the coffee stop anyway, the truck stop, got out and had refreshments, coffee and a sandwich or whatever we could get. So he says, when we come out, he says, "You get behind the wheel now. I'm going to have a sleep." Got behind the wheel. Told me there's straight road, no bends, no crossroads, to take a turn to keep going. Kept going, and the snow and the ice, the truck was chained, on the wheels. But took to the highway anyway, and we drove on and drove on and drove on. Jesus, no end to the snow. And after a while he woke up. He says, let me see where we are. Oh, he says, I'll get in now. He put her in there, he says, I'll get in now and I'll finish the journey. And the road getting windy now, and with big between the mountain, the ravines. Oh, geez, you went off the road, I tell you what it is. You never be seen again. Got in behind the wheel, and after a while, I noticed him still doing a bit of wobbling on the road. I know. Why, crisscrossing the road, kept me, held on to my breath, thinking this is good, something going to happen. And it did happen. Down off the road, down in a bank of snow, and they tear her up and the head of her. We got out the truck, up on the highway anyway, and not a sign of a sinner, house, or anything else out in the wild out there up in the north. So after a while we heard this sound coming. So over what we're going to get out of this. He was a big SO oil tanker, and he was loaded with fuel. So we stopped anyway, and this driver got out, and he says, you're in a bad way down there. How are you going to get out of that? He says, I don't know. He says, you may bring us out of this. Well, we'll see, will you? So he said, I'll back up to her. I have chains. He had, for the job, in case he was stuck himself. And they were long enough to reach the back of the old truck. And he would just pull her up out of the ravine. And she was not in the water. She started when we got her up on the highway. So we took off then, the man driving. And I said to him, how far more have we to go? Oh, it's a very short distance now, he says. Turned in after a bit and over a river. The trees, the mighty trees, were laid across the river for a bridge. And she went like that up and down on the spring in the timber. We did, Jesus. Far savers, we were lucky. Got the far savers. And got over the timber bridge, the tree bridge. And there were an old boreen, things like Gabran Lane, an old rough, narrow roadway down to this mighty forest, thousands of acres in it. And this yoke set up down beside the river. First thing I seen when we were down a bit was these 6x6, you call them chicken houses. These small square houses, 6x6, and had a pipe out the roof. So I kept going with more on there. More farther we were down, the more was seen. So eventually we come to this canteen area where they were used to eat and all that shapers, and it was good. Oh, it was a lifesaver. The food was absolutely, I never ate like it. It was cans of everything. And meat, but the work day and night nearly. The more you worked, the more you had. Nothing else to do. No women. So, anyway.
That was the first place you went to then?
That was the first job I had in Canada. With the lumber camp up in near Whitehorse. So stuck it for 5 or 6 months. So I said to myself, well, this was my life. So I left it, got back out into Edmonton again on the truck, load of timber, and got a job in British Columbia. Now, this was on a fruit farm, turkey farm. Oh, you're talking about fruit, apricots, peaches, you name, black cherries. Oh, it was in heaven. And these grown, the house, everything grown up beside the back door nearly, the orchards. So I don't have many thousand turkeys reared. I got me tray there to how to kill turkeys and pluck them. Special knife. Here you pull them with a pole across their necks or a handle of a sprung or something to pull them dead. Not done with a knife out there. So I had that trade.
And had you seen any the food and all you got over there? Would you have seen food like that here in Oulart?
No, it was not in those days. No, it was that very. It was all foreign food, Italian sausages and all that, salamis and all that stuff. But it was cans of jam. It was cans of everything. The best of food. All you could eat of it.
How long did you stay in the turkey place for?
I stayed there probably maybe a year or so. Come back here then, from there.
Someone coming in beside you here now?
Yeah.
All right.
That's my wife. Yeah. Come back here and got married. And went back to America. To Long Island, on a what sort of a farm was it? I don't know what. There was horses and all types of animals in it.
You went to America after Canada?
After Canada, I come back here for a while.
Right. Were your parents alive still, Jim?
They were, yes, they were alive still. So went back to America. And I was only so many years in America when my brother was killed. His car crashed at Corrigan Rock. You know where that Corrigan Rock is there? He had a bridge there. And he was 29. A wife and one child on the way. But that happened. And that brought me back, and I never went back after that. I stayed more local after that. Started up the whole show. I had the fruit, trees, hedge, everything, nothing. Yeah, but
what year was that, Jim?
That was 70. He was killed in 72. November 72. And he was killed. So that was the end of my travelling. My rambling. Oh, I had rambled enough at that stage anyway.
You were worn out, were you?
I had rambled enough, so from that on, I was here.
And was your mother and father alive when your brother passed away?
Yes, yeah.
Must have been hard for them.
She was terrible, yeah. So that's from that on.
Yeah.
It was a slogging job.
Yeah. And when you came back here to start up the nursery, Jim, did you have to buy land, or did you?
Yes, I bought land. I bought all was here in this spot was about 3 acres, 4 acres altogether. So my neighbour, I rented land from him for a couple of years to grow vegetables and spuds and all that. So he come down to me this morning, coming to the time of taking it from him again, on a lease. He says, will you buy a bit of land? Like that to me out of the blue. And I had a whole lot of money. Yeah, I'd buy it. It depends on the price and if I can get the money. So I went off after the credit, the credit. No, they're not in business anymore. That financial institution, I don't know. Think of it tomorrow. I got the money anyway to buy it. 12 acres, yeah. Cost me 24,000 that time. A lot of money, But, I still have it. Most of it on the trees now.
Yeah.
And nursery end of it.
And all the ones that are under trees now, are they trees for sale, for
The
nurseries? Yeah?
trees for sale and trees to grow on, you know, they're in the ground for years. And more, you know, the different heights and sizes. And, the vegetables, rhubarb, all that black currant up there, strawberries, raspberries. Peach. I brought the peaches from Canada in the lining of my my overcoat, hidden. You wouldn't take them off, you know. You couldn't travel with them. I fooled them. I trimmed them down and got him inside the line of the big long overcoat, hanging down on my arm. 3 peach trees and an air. Oh, Jesus, talking about peaches.
And do you still have them here?
Not that they're died out. I have a new variety that I've got local. Oh, back to you, finest peaches you ever did see in apricots. They're in bloom up there now. So.
So you smuggled the peach trees back?
I smuggled the 3 trees out of Canada. Yeah.
Sure, they would have been completely foreign for us back in Ireland, were they, or for local people anyway?
Oh yes,
peach tree.
That's right. Well, you see, peach, you won't grow them in the open here. You have to have them under. I have them in tunnels there because it'd be too cold. No, but that was got into mushrooms, a disaster. Oh, there's a horticulture instructor come one day to me. He come first. The strawberries come before that. I tried half an acre. We were the first. I was one of the first that grew strawberries in the county Wexford. There was about 9 of us, I think, on a half-acre plot, a trial plot that was sort of government job or financed by him anyway. So myself and 8 or 9, 7 or 8 more of us grew this half-acre of strawberries. So
what year was that?
It must have been in the late 72. I'd say it was the late 70s.
And there were no strawberry growers commercially?
No commercial. No, there wasn't a strawberry in the county Wexford at the time. Gradually grown commercially, not one. So we grew them for chivers with the first jam crowd that took them from us. But before I got to the jam end of it, there was an awful lot of work going to keep them clean and keep what they call runners off them. And the runners, I didn't cut the runners off them, and it took over the whole ground, you know, all the growing root. So it come to the following spring, time to clean them up, dig them out, and leave just the original plant. And this day I had up there at the back of the house. This day the instructor come in and he says, what are you going to do with the plants? Sure, I have to take them out of the ground. I said, I can't grow strawberries that way. He said, take every one of them up, he says. I have a market for them. I thought, Jesus. They were getting bigger into them now. There were several growers down the south of the county especially. Adamstown, all that country out there. He says, let me know, he says, when you have them out of the ground and put them in bags or so many, 50 or 100 bags. And I let him know. He says, come in to me where I live and bring the plants with you. I loaded up the van and went off. We took off down around Adamstown, away down the Hook, all down that country with these strawberry plants. I was made up a few bob. Jesus, what? That was a strawberry in there.
And where were the other 7 or 8 men from? Were they Oulart men, or where were the other farmers in the group with you?
There was one in Oulart. Highland was his name, Willie Highland. The rest of them was different areas, different parts of the county that had spread out. So next big one was it apples or let's see mushrooms, I'd say, was the next one. This instructor happened coming to me. He says, we have a scheme coming up. He said, not everyone is going to get into it. Would you be interested? What is it? I said, mushrooms, he says. It's a sort of a trial job, he says. There'll be about 8 or 10 growers over the county. But I'd have a go if I was staying in it. So I signed up anyway with the mushrooms, and the mushroom tunnels come. Picked up the frames and all that. They're way down in Wallace's Camp Pile. He was one of the growers that time, the mushrooms. We got them erected and got started. But here we had no proper market for the mushrooms. We had mushrooms and couldn't get rid of them. Butterley in Dublin. You know where that disaster with the youth, that crowd. You know, there were so many young people smothered or trampled in a fire in Dublin. That crowd, Butterley was their names. And they done what they like with us. You had the price. They wanted small ones, they wanted big ones. When we'd had the big ones, they wanted the small ones. They wanted the small ones when we had big. Oh, the job it was to get him, and even to get him picked. But that time there was plenty of women to pick him.
And it was mostly women pickers?
All women pickers, frankly, all locally. Yeah. No trouble. And the same with strawberry picking of no young lads, old women. Now, today, gone. Didn't have one. Well, anyway, the mushrooms went for a couple of years. What should the food nearly on the road because for what we were getting for them.
And were you still running a nursery at the same time?
At that same time, yes. And it put me under fierce pressure, you know, to keep it, because the mushrooms was there was no tomorrow in a mushroom. Mushroom had to be when the mushroom was ready to pick, it had to be picked. Either it was gone either flat or brown or something. There's no tomorrow. I always said there's no tomorrow in a mushroom. Had to be picked today and got out.
To get the cup mushroom?
Yeah. The cup mushroom, little small buttons, and they call them different names. So what that was, the mushroom end of it, threw it up.
So you were happy to get out of that way, yeah?
I was happy. Your man that done the compost, Welsh, is still in a big way in Gorey there. He's supplying that compost all over the country. But he was the winner. He got his money out of the mushrooms. We took the leave and 12 was left. So, and he's still at it in a big way. So I think he's up in Monaghan now or somewhere supplying the compost. So anyway, that was the mushroom end of it. Next one was apples.
Sure, you're in Oulart, the home of apples, sure.
Apples. He has money in his bank. You go to the bank manager with the money, he'll be smiling at you with apples. Apple one.
Is that your man leaving?
Oh, he's gone, yeah.
But what do you mean apples? How do you mean? What's the market?
So many acres of apples. Grew in the whole, grew 8 or 9 acres up the land I had bought of apples. There was 1, 2 acres, they were there for 8 years, and I didn't get 2 apples off them. There were a Bramley apple on a rootstock, on a big rootstock, and they wouldn't fruit for 8 or 9 years. The smaller rootstock, you'd have apples in a year or 2. You know, they'd be fruiting right away. So, there was great money in apples. Yeah, one of the guys still in apples that joined with me, he's up in the other side of Ferns. Or Jan, I think it's Jan is his name. You have an apple, he still held on to the apple, into the apples.
And what market was it?
There was no market. You had to make a market. There was no such thing as a market. You had to travel with your apples, sell them here, sell them there, whatever you could get rid of them.
Find your market.
Yeah. Because there were no such big supermarkets them days. They had take so much apples, right? You hooks their shops on corners here and there. So take a dozen of apples or a little box of apples. Shit, Jesus, you go nowhere. But
And what are Granny those apple trees still surviving?
I have a few of them still surviving, yeah.
And what kind of fruit are they? Cooking apples? Or?
Cooking apples, and a few eaters apples, yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the apple trees planted on the side of the road as a child?
Yes, I remember them well. The man that started that was an horticulture instructor from Gorey, Sweeney. Sweeney was a gas man. He was up from the north. What's that county up? Into my head, terrible. What's the northern county?
Donegal?
Donegal. He was a Donegal man, and he had a funny accent. He was talk real sharp, quick, you know, and he cursed like a trooper. Come this day, apart from apples, he said, I got to getting into bees this time. I was in the bees, travelling, doing them fairly well. And he come this day to me. The fucking bees, he says, in Wells. You know how Wells is that? What was the name of it? Dunne. Some of the workers, he said, Dunne got some of the workers with a spade to take off these crates of honey off the hive. Never. You have to know your business taking off honey so you can subdue the bees, you know, otherwise. Oh, he run everyone out of the place nearly. Horses, everything. I set the bees mad. No one could go near him. Dunne rang up, what do you call him, this instructor, to see would he come take off the honey off him. And your man was afraid of his life with the bees to a pint. I was the one that had to do the dirty work with the bees. But we managed them. We were been prepared, you know, with a suit and smoke and everything else. So we got the honey off him.
And that man was Sweeney?
Sweeney. Bill Sweeney.
Will Sweeney?
Bill
Sweeney.
Bill Sweeney.
And he started the apple tree planting scheme here in Wexford, is that right?
No, well, yes, on the road. On the roadside. He was involved in that. Yeah.
Did he work for the council?
A good question. So that was a council operation to a point, wasn't it? Yeah. On the side of the road. But I suppose he had the authority from the council to pick out the different spots of the road where the verge was wide, so he could plant a tree. And
for people who don't know, Jim, they were public apple trees, wasn't that right?
They were public. Oh yes, public apple trees. You got an apple, you could stop and take it off and eat and go off with your business. Yeah. But I never seen a whole lot of apples on them because I never got a chance to develop it. They pulled off the trees, you know.
Where were they?
But they were a waste of money. Absolutely a waste of money. I mean, but they had to give them to so many different people, houses. You know, to try to grow them themselves, not on the side of the road.
And were there any in Oulart? Can any of them survive?
There was none in Oulart, not that I know. There wasn't a tree in Oulart. Down the main road to Gorey, some part of it. Yeah.
Some in Ballygart still, anyway.
Is there some? Is
yeah, between Ballygart and Cummuckridge.
Along that road, yeah.
Ballygart and River Chapel.
Yeah, along there, yeah. No.
And what year were you into the apples, Jim? What years were you talking?
That was, I'd say it was around the 80s mark.
Yeah.
In the early 80s, yeah.
You had probably children at this stage as well, had you? Vicky and were they born?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that was to a point now.
Yeah. And then what happened? Did you go any mad big ventures then, or did you just build up the nursery?
I built up the nursery and more or less got into bees. I was at bees since I was 8 or 9, 10-year-old.
Bees?
Bees. Started with bees. I'm about 74 years at bees. At least, yeah, 74. Could be 75 or 74 anyway.
Who was into bees? Was it your grandfather or your father?
No. There was an old cobbler, at that time they used to call him cobbler. He'd be fixing heels on boots and stitching a toe cap on or doing something like that. over what they call in Ballinellar or over that country. And my mother used to send me off on the bike with a pair of shoes to get him healed or get him sold.
What was his name?
White, Paddy White.
Paddy White.
Paddy White was his name. And this Saturday evening I went on with the shoes, and when I went over he was at the bees. He had a row of bees down the plot, and I sneaked down along the back of the bees to see what he was at with them. You know, I hadn't a clue about bees, nor wasn't thinking about bees. And looking in at him, what he was doing and all this, he said, "Would you like a swarm of bees?" I'd say, "What would I do with them? Sure, no box or no nothing to put them in." "What? I'll bring you over a swarm of bees," he says. You know the butter, you probably didn't see them, did you? The old type butter box, wooden. They were a lovely box, about that depth, but they were shaped. You know, they wasn't square. A very popular box, especially for bees. Put swarms of bees into them. So he brought me on the box of bees and laid them down there in the corner of the plot that time. And from that on, no, they're no good to me in a box because you get no honey off them. So to get a hive made, where were we going to get timber to make a hive, or who was going to make a hive for me? My mother, Lord mercy, knew the old guy that rock. He was a carriage maker, old Breen of the rock factory in Enniscorthy. I think that premise is still there down the quay. She knew him well. She used to have dealings with him over harness and saddles and straps and all that caping concerning horses. And she said to him this day, I think he had bees himself, a hive or two. She said to him, "Would you make a hive for my lad? He got a box of bees, he wants a hive." Willie says, "Bring me in the timber." That time to get the timber, Jesus Christ almighty. Old sofas, bottom of an old sofa, wardrobes, broke out stuff that was anything that could break it up for to get into the car to bring it into the Enniscorthy to make this little hive. Got into him and he made a hive, painted it green. And the first year, the best year I ever had on a hive of bees, getting a crop. You know the sections, you know the square lads. I got 6 of them full the first year off of that hive. And that was about 6 21s, 21 of them in a crate, what they call a crate, and 6 of them. Talking about honey. Never swarmed, never done that, only walked.
And how old were you? Only a chap?
Only a chap, sure. What was I, 15? No, I wasn't 15, 14, I'd say. 15 at the most. So that was all right. With the one hive now in the box I had, and I used to go to the sea of a Sunday, to Ballyvalden. And there was a little hut down there, Mourns of Enniscorthy. He was an electrician. Up on top of what's the street there? Top of Slaney Street, opposite Buck Roach's. He had an electrical shop there. And he had a summer hut in Ballyvalden, down under the road there, next down to and it's still there, the tools have it now, I think. And he had 7 or 8 or 10 hives of bees down there. And I could see the bees from the road because they were down in a hollow. And I used to watch them. It was Sunday afternoon. That's what brought me down more or less, to see this old man. He's getting on in years, walking at these bees. And there were a special hive, beautiful big tall hives he had. And went on for a while, maybe 2 or 3 summers. And I was in Enniscorthy this day. He used to sell the equipment for the bees as well. You know, the wax and the frames and all that stuff. I was in this day picking up the wax or something I wanted for him, for my own. And he says to me, would you buy a few hives of bees? Out of the blue. I'd say if I wouldn't be able, I said. Don't worry about the money, he says. I had the bees below in Ballyvalden. If you want to give me something for them, they're yours. Whoa. No. Sure, that was terrific. The start, that was the really good start with these 8 or 10 hives. And he was using what they call loose honey, run honey, and extracted, swinging, sucking it out of the comb. So he had an American extractor, I still have it, an American, what they call an uncapping knife, I still have it. You wouldn't get one like it, never seen one like it. Special knife, American knife. Went on with a tractor and trailer and loaded up these bees and got them home. And got them here under the apple trees here. That time there was 4 or 5. Put them in under the apple trees. What year was that now? Was it 49? I think it was 49. I had a few of my own. I had 14 hives altogether. With his 7 or 8 and what I had by my own. And that year, of course, I went loose honey now instead of section because I had the extractor, they say. I used to, yeah, you'd want to know all about bees, what I'm talking about now. I used to extract every 3 to 4 days. The year was so good. And the flow of honey was absolute. You go the road there, they smell the fields of white clover. You don't smell it anymore. That's gone. The bees, I often watched them after my supper. I could see them coming in loaded, up and down. That year, those 14 hives of bees, I filled, was it 5 or 6 45-gallon drums. I had almost 3,000 weight of honey off of the 14 hives, which were unreal. Now, the price and where to get rid of it, there used to be a honey market in Escarty every year. You know, it was Ronan's of Capel Street. So Cooney in Oulart, John Cooney, he's dead now, man. He'd be an uncle of the present Kevin Cooney in Rahinduff. He had a place he ended up in Hollyford, John Cooney. But they had it, Cooney's was the first old truck to come around, hauling meal from Dublin, Paul and Vincent's, you know, used to go every week. So I said to John one day, God, I have a few barrels of honey, would it be possible to get up to Ronan's in Capel Street? Yes, he says, I'll go down some afternoon, even before I'm going to Dublin, and we load it up. Come down, and we're an old, you know, the old trip cars, horse cars, shafts, you know, the car trip up. Hooked it up, put the shafts up on the truck, and the tail down, and rode up these barrels of honey. The first the shafts broke. You should have helped me, mother. The break of the shafts. This barrel of honey. So we had to get planks and don't know what we got. We got it up, loaded it anyway, and got to Dublin. I got 6p a pound for it. 6p a pound. Sure, you say, oh, I was made up. I was a millionaire coming back. You know, the 6p a pound out of 3,000, how we make it out, figure it out how it come to big money them days.
Yeah. enough to get the shaft to the cart fixed.
I didn't shaft. Oh Jesus, I tell you. Oh, that was the start of the honey business, and I'm still in bees. Still my main hobby. So what had?
And Manny, would you the cart that your mother had? That was like a hay bogey, was it? Was it like a hay bogey with a winder on the back of it?
No, it was an ordinary what they call a trip car. that was a hay bogey with a winder on it.
Yeah.
They put back it up to the cock of hay and put a yoke around and wind it up.
Yeah.
That was a hay bogey. No, this is what they call a trip car.
Trip car.
Oh, they were very popular at that time, the trip car, because every farmer had one.
Yeah.
They load it up and bring it out to the field, load of dung on it or a load of turnips, trip it up. You didn't have to unload it by hand or sprung or anything. You unloaded. No, that was the old trip car. What else were I going to say? There was something that's there in my mind.
But the honey, you kept that to honey. You kept that to bees.
Oh, came out the bees and still am.
And where do you get your hives now? Does Ned Kavanagh, does a local man make them? Or
That's where I have hives down to the years, once you get into a hive, you have it for years and years and years, yeah. Yeah. No. Oh, Ned got into bees and he got out of bees and he was still starting to get into them again when he got bad, I think.
Yeah. And your own, how many, what would you have now? How many hives do you have now?
I have around 30 now. Sure, I had 130 on stage away back over the years. A lot of work with them to do them right. And if you don't do them right, you get nothing from the swarm, what they call swarm, and get away. And I often follow them across fields, swarm. Yeah.
And that man from Enniscorthy, that
Moran man, yes.
He gave you the start.
He gave me the real start. He got me off. He got me off the ground like that with bees. But Paddy White was the man that started.
Over behind me, the cobbler.
The cobbler started me. Yeah. So anyway.
And you're still at bees?
I'm still at bees.
Yeah.
I haven't done that day feeding them. Yeah.
You were saying that the fields were different years ago. The smell was
the smell of the clover. See, the farmers, nitrogen have ruined the land to my thinking. It's all this rye grass, forced up for the cows. Clovers is smothered out. Good clover areas around, it always was counted, was around Scarrowells, that area. The soil, depends on the soil too. Some of the soil is better for honey than others. Our main crop here now is blackberry, a bit of clover, because there's not that many fields of clover. Blackberry is the big one. And you have that whole oilseed rape early in the year, which you get as hard as a rock when you take it off the hive. And it's a weak type honey. No, the briar is a really good honey.
And we're lucky we have the briars because
I give you a jar of honey now when you're going. Early honey. It would be the hawthorn, apples, plums, all the early flowers, sycamore, chestnut, all them early blooming. It'd be honey gathered in May. And I'd always extract that off the hives before the summer honey could start. The briar don't start till around the early, maybe the 10th or 15th of June. But I get the early stuff off before that starts. So I give you a jar of honey now and you can see what you think of the taste of it. At the early honey, no comparison. No, so.
And would they make honey during the winter?
No, nothing during. No, nothing during the winter. Ivy is the last one. They walk on.
Ivy.
And it's a very strong honey. You can taste the ivy off the honey. Very good honey, they say. But I leave it on the hives for feeding them for the winter. But ivy is the last one that comes in about October, end of September, October. So
those dates were important. I won't keep you too much longer, Jim. But the dates of the year are important. We're coming up now to the 1st of March, and the crows are crawling behind you there.
They're crawling, they're building up there in my trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't there, saying years ago, the old people said the crows would always build on the 1st of March.
1st of March. 1st of March. What's the time? What's the saying? Jesus, the crows. And the 1st of March the crows begin to, when the 1st of March the crows begin to search, by the 1st of April they are sitting still, by the 1st of May they've all flown away, coming greedy back again with October's wind and rain. That's the crow story though. And they have their home in winter down here in the island. That's the rookery down there. But from now on they're up here in the tree building and preparing the nest. That right now you can hear them there.
No courting.
Oh, courting like hell.
We're coming up as well to close to the 17th of March, and a lot of the old people would have had the spuds in by then, wouldn't they?
Oh yes, I have spuds up. I saw the first of my spuds Stephen's Day. Day after Christmas Day in the tunnel of course. And they're about that height now. I'll be digging my new spuds in May. Yeah.
And you do that every year?
Every year.
Every St. Stephen's Day?
Every Stephen's Day. Yeah, that's a ritual. So the spuds. Yeah, so the spuds.
And did you ever see the old people, did they get them in by the 17th?
Well, by the 17th of March, the seasons have all changed. Last year now, even this one, there was a few early ones put in fine there in January, I think there was. But the ground is on the wet side still. And the main crop is not going in yet. But last year, with all that late snow and wet, there wasn't so till May. So, no, they get in. No, once if the weather's right, they start sowing from February into March.
Yeah.
17th of March was always counted to have them in by, yeah.
And out by the 29th of June?
Have them out by the, yeah. Oh, and you sow your shallot onions the shortest day and you pull them the longest day. Shallot onions, yes. And the shortest day is in December. And the longest day is June. Be matured enough by then, you know.
I never heard that before.
There you are now, yeah.
Were you ever told it's good to plant certain days to plant a tree on, or a certain month to plant a tree, or?
Yeah, with orders in them, you know. And I don't believe in that. There's a certain time you cannot work from October to March in planting in bare root stuff. But if a tree or a shrub is in a pot, you can plant it the longest day, June, July, if it's in a pot. But if it's not in a pot, it's in full leaf, you can't touch it. If it's what they call bare root, no soil around the root. But in a pot or a container, you can plant it at any time.
Are you going to plant any? Sure, you've left a load of trees behind here. You planted with your name on them, haven't you? You say you planted a lot of trees in your time, have you?
Oh, I have acres up there. I have probably ash, over an acre of ash, lovely ash coming into hurl sticks. Well, my son, he'll be the one that'll gain by it. And oak, beech, alder, you name it. The most was on the trees. I planted thousands. And not a tree. They said I was mad. So one lad come up the road, I was planting up the road there somewhere, and he says, "You're gone fucking mad," he says. "Do you think so?" I said. "Yeah, are you trying to bring the island up the road?" he says. "You know that it's only down the road I have this. Are you trying to bring?" "No," I said, that's my hobby, trees." "You're gone mad," he says. But that's the problem with the local people. It takes so long. They can't wait. They must be instant. If you get a tree, you must have it up. It takes a tree a long time to, at least, to get any size. There's silver birch now. They're in there about maybe 15 years to get them from a whip. And they're a beautiful tree. Silver birch, yeah. That's the paperback one, the one that peels. You can see. No one behind me there. No, it's you can see it there. It peels on the back every year. So a lovely silver tree. But no,
Things take time, Jim.
time. What's time? What is time? Time means nothing. Never did mean much to me. I go by the sunlight, the sun and the sky and the moon in my younger days. I wouldn't want to watch. Now it's a bit slower and different. But anyway, no. So that's a lot. That's a lot of my story.
Will we
I went to I had a great trip to Dublin. What year was that? With a load of turnip seed on a tractor and trailer to Capel Street, to Rona's in Capel Street. What year is that now? I'd say it was probably 52. That year, myself and who had some neighbour, we grew turnip seed, a few acres of turnip seed, and trashed it, held on to it for a while to get a market for it, got the market for it, bagged it up. Orman in Castellellis, he had a lorry, what would you call it, for hire, you know. But unfortunately, his truck was out of order, and he was getting a new one, and it hadn't arrived. And we had this turnip seed bagged up, and you know, once you get it into a bag, you have to get rid of it fairly fast because of overheat, you know, and the stride. So we were in the dilemma then whether we should spill it out again or go with it with a tractor. So we decided when we had it in the bags, we'd go with it to Capel Street. This was an old major tractor now. There was no 3 gears on it. There was a top on it, and there was a middle one, and there was a low one. Top one it pulled nothing. She wouldn't hardly pull herself. And the low one, it's like a snail. But anyway, we loaded her up and took off at 4 in the morning with this 4 ton of turnip seed. And we were going over the bridge, O'Connell Bridge, at 12 o'clock. The bell was ringing. At 12 o'clock, we going over O'Connell's Bridge from 4 in the morning. Go on and on to Capel Street was down a bit, I don't know where it is now. You go down the quay and you turn off to the back there, into the back there somewhere, Capel. Got to Capel Street anyway and got it unloaded. So this man that had the seed with me, and was with me, he had a girlfriend in Dublin. I said, so, well, you better turn and get another one for there's 2 of us in it. So we got the turnip seed unloaded anyway and went on outside of Dublin. I don't know what part of it. You get a meal where she lived. Got the meal anyway, and we lost some time there. We should have been on the road, but we I won't say what our business was, but we got rid of the turnip seed anyway. So we left Dublin, I don't know what, I can't say. But coming down through the end of the Downs, this side of the beehive, it was actually, you know where the beehive is there? The tractor stopped. And this was 2 in the morning now. But Christ, what are we going to do? She's not going to go on fresh air, I said. So we discovered there was an old farm not far away from us. And we walked on down to the farm, and this old lad, we shouted him up. And he didn't give us a great reception. That was him on. But we told him our story and where we were going and the predicament we were in. He got up anyway and he gave us this 5-gallon drum of kerosene, that time it was. It wasn't diesel, kerosene. So we gave him a few bob for it and thanked him to the highly for it. Poured into the tractor, got started. And we got back here at 6 the next morning, that morning. From 4 the morning before on a tractor. With the turnip seed. Well, that was our business. I'm not going to tell you what other business there was, but we got rid of the turnip seed anyway. But that experience, and there were no heaters, any little rise in the ground at all, you were down to first gear. Oh, Jesus Christ, no cab, no nothing.
No cab?
Oh, no cab. Oh, for the cab that time, in 80, or 81, I think, maybe 2. So I did, so I changed his tractor with the cab on. No cab, open track, an old Fortune, what they call a Fortune Major.
I'm after keeping you long enough. Do you want to go in and play me a tune?
Yeah, come on.
You planted one more tree there, were you?
No, I'm not. Have you heard enough? Do you see it? Have you got enough?
Yeah, walk over there, so we'll follow you in.
So, no, I must say, I enjoyed life. No, I couldn't say I didn't. No, and I still enjoy it in my own way, you know. And there's my bees out walking there on the heather. One of them. Let me see where do you see him, Lord? Did you get him? Look. Yeah. That's one of my best friends. Yeah. No.
They're happy too, the fine weather's here.
Oh, the fine day. They're out now today, flying strong now today.
Will I follow you in?
So yeah, you want to bring?
I'll get me pin.
Yeah, follow me in.